guys, now we are going to be graphing these lovely lines that we have. We just identified some key features. Now we're going to graph them and hopefully identify some of the key features that we see. Okay, so check this out. So we are going to be graphing in standard form. So this first kind that we're going to be doing. And graphing in standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And guys, the first thing that you're going to do is we are going to find that axis of symmetry, okay? So even though we don't have a picture, we can still find our axis of symmetry. And then we're going to use the axis of symmetry to find the vertex, and then we're going to try to graph 4 more points, okay? So let's go this together. All right, y'all? So this equation is super important. So maybe box it or do something. X equals negative b over 2a. All right, guys? So let's check this out. For this first problem up here, guys, we want to identify our axis of symmetry. Okay? So let's see what is my a value for this guy right here.
X squared? Or
just the 1, right? It's the coefficient of our x squared. So my a would be equal to 1. Okay? What is my b value?
4.
Negative 4. And then what is my c value? Negative 5. Okay? So we have 3 little things. We got our a, our b, and our c. This should feel familiar because we had to recognize what a, b, and c were when we did factoring. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. Sorry, y'all. And we want to identify what is our axis of symmetry. So we're going to use this equation, okay, which is x equals negative b over 2a. And y'all, what we are going to do is, what is my b value?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So negative b, so negative 4 over 2 times a, 2 times 1. Well, guys, because it's a negative b. And what is my b value?
Oh, okay.
Negative 4, right? So, good question there. So what is that going to do to this top number up here? It's going to turn it into a positive. So that's going to be 4 over 2, which reduces down to 2. So guys, my axis of symmetry is now equal to x equals 2. Yes, ma'am?
But did you say y can turn to positive?
Okay. I'm going to do this one more time. Why did it turn into positive? So the equation is negative b, right?
Yeah.
So it's negative, and then what's my b value?
Oh, negative 4.
Negative 4. So when you have a negative times a negative, that's going to give you a positive. Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that becomes a positive 4 over 2. So guys, now we have our axis of symmetry is equal to 2. All right, y'all? So make sure you grab the notes, okay? We're on page 2, okay? So our axis of symmetry is equal to 2. So guys, if we know the axis of symmetry is equal to 2, well, that's nice. I guess we could graph that if we wanted to. It's just this vertical line right here. But what we really want to know is, what's our vertex? So y'all, how can we find our vertex? Well, do we know anything about our vertex now that we have our axis of symmetry? What do we know? It's 2, right? We know the x value is 2. Okay? But how are we going to figure out the y value? What are we going to do, y'all? For our vertex. We know the x value is 2. Can we identify the y value? Okay. So what we can do is we can plug it in for the x values. So we could say y is equal to 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. So instead of x, I replaced it with 2. So I'm just evaluating my function here. So guys, this is when a calculator might come in handy. You can turn it on. We can sit here. We can say 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. And that gives us what? Negative 9. All right, so that gives us negative 9. So that means the y value of my vertex is negative 9. Do y'all feel good about that? So our y value is that negative 9. So guys, now that we know our vertex, can we graph it to negative 9? Also guys, I want you to take a look at this. Is this graph going to open up or is it going to open down? It's going to open up. The reason why is because this a value is positive. And if a values are positive, that means they're happy and they open up. If they're negative, they're sad and they open down. So guys, is this going to give us a minimum or a maximum? A minimum. And our minimum is negative 9. And our domain is still all real numbers. And guys, what's our range going to be? Y is greater than or equal. Excellent job. Y is greater than or equal to negative 9. So guys, we have 1 point. Are there any other points that we could do? Yeah, we could do the roots, but we don't know those yet. So guys, what we can do is, guys, we can plug in another random point to see where it gets graphed. So for example, y'all, so let's see. It says graph 4 more points. So I'm going to plug in 1 more point that's very close to my vertex. So guys, our vertex is at 2, so now I'm going to plug in a 1. So I'm going to say y equals 1 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 5. So that's 1 minus 4 minus 5. That's going to give us negative 8. So I'm going to plug in a 1, negative 8. And guys, this is the beautiful thing. So I did my x value was 1. And my y value for 1 was negative 8. And guys, once you have a point, look what you can do. Can I reflect it across my axis of symmetry? Yeah, so if that's 1 away, then it's going to be 1 away on the right side. So now I got 2 points. And then another point that you can always find, I like this point, is your C. This C value up here, guys, is your y-intercept. So, we can graph our C value of negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay? And guys, when we graph that one, can we reflect it across the y-axis? Absolutely. So now, do I have 5 points to graph? I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my parabola. Now guys, it is a curve. So please make it curved. Don't do like a straight V or anything. Okay? We want to make it curved. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be curved. Okay? Now, I'm going to plot those points that I just wrote in here. I did what? 0, negative 5, 1, negative 8, and then our vertex was at 2, negative 9. And guys, look what happened. At 3, it went back to negative 8. It was symmetrical across the vertex. At 4, it went back to that negative 5. So guys, everything on our table and on our graph is symmetrical around the vertex. Do you see that? The table is symmetrical. The graph is symmetrical. Everything's symmetrical off that vertex and that axis of symmetry. How do y'all feel about this? Okay. So guys, what you can do is you can find your axis of symmetry, which helps you find your vertex, and then you can graph the other points around it. Now, it's really nice when you can also graph your roots, right? But some of your equations aren't going to have nice, easy, clean roots. Some of them will, but some of them won't. Okay, so you want to graph those 5 points. I will say, guys, on your homework today, all of your answers are going to have nice, clean roots. All right? Now, I also want to show you guys how to do this on the calculator. All right? So this kind of takes a little while, doesn't it? So let's do it on the calculator. Okay, guys? So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to jump over here to this equation right here. Y equals 1/2 x squared plus 4x. So I would like everyone to take out their calculator and type in y equals 1/2 x squared plus 4x. I need to see this on everybody's calculator. Okay? Let's type it in. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to hit graph, because we want to see where this graph is on the calculator. Okay? 1/2 x squared plus 4x. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay, is that what y'all's looks like?
No, you went to the...
Y equals 1/2 x squared plus 4x. I'm literally getting it from this problem right here on our page. This is what it should look like. If it doesn't look like that, bring it over here. One half x squared.
Oh, squared.
Plus 4x. Read your paper and type it in.
I got it.
Okay? And this is what it should look like. If it doesn't look exactly like this, then you did something wrong. Here.
Can I have a water bottle, please?
Alright, try again. Start over. Alright, so that's y equals 1/2 4x. So guys, where about in general is my vertex going to be? Is my vertex going to be, where is my x going to be positive or is my x going to be negative? Negative. The x is over here in the negatives. So guys, what you're going to do is you're going to go table. You're going to go to your table, second graph. And guys, we're going to look. Okay, so if you're starting anywhere, you're going to look in the negatives. And guys, what we are looking for on our graph is we are looking for the y values to be exactly symmetrical.
Wait, was it
All right, guys?
1/2 x squared plus 4x?
Yes. 1/2. You don't have a half, sweetie. You have to type the whole thing in.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
All right, so hold on, guys. So, guys, check this out. When you look on your table, what do you guys notice? So, guys, where is my vertex on this table? Where is it symmetrical? Okay, no. Are my values symmetrical around that -6 right there? -3 and -5? No, those aren't the same. We want to find two that are exactly the same around it.
-4 and -8.
Okay, yeah, it's -4 and -8. Okay? So -4 and -8, that right there is my vertex. So y'all, even if you can't find your vertex algebraically, you can type it in, -4 and -8, or you can type it in and find your vertex on the table. All right, guys? Do y'all see why that is the vertex of this? Do y'all see that on the table? Do you see how everything around it is symmetrical? the negative 7.5, negative 6, negative 3.5, 0, 4.5. Everything is symmetrical around it. Do y'all see that? So negative 4, negative 8 is our vertex. So y'all, can we graph that vertex now that we know it? Yeah. Actually, can we just make our table? Can we get our table from the calculator? Absolutely. I'm gonna put my vertex in the very center. So I'm going to say that's negative 6, negative 7.5, negative 8, negative 7.5, and negative 6. So I'm going to graph this around my table here. All right, guys? So check this out. So what is my axis of symmetry, y'all, going to be? If my vertex is negative 4, negative 8, that's the vertex. And we can graph that. Negative 4, negative 8. What is my axis of symmetry, y'all? How is the axis of symmetry connected to our vertex? It's the x value. It goes through your vertex. Okay? So I'm going to ask that again. How is my axis of symmetry connected to my vertex? Yeah, so it's going to be going through our vertex. So it's going to be x equals negative 4. Because it literally goes right through your vertex. Okay? Now, if we're looking at this guy, we need to graph a couple more points, don't we? Well, guys, do we have some more points on here that we can graph? I don't really want to graph the decimals. Can we graph the whole numbers? Are you guys okay with that? Negative 6, negative 6. Cool. And then look, it reflects right across. Negative 2, negative 6. All right. Now, is this, so it looks like, is it going to open up or is it going to open down? It's going to open up. So we are going to have a minimum because our A value is positive, which means that it's happy. So it opens up. And what is our minimum value, y'all? Negative 8. Our domain is all real numbers. And our range is going to be, what is our range going to be in this case, y'all? Is my y greater than or is my y less than? Yeah, they're greater than the negative 8. You're absolutely right because it's a minimum. So it's going to be greater than negative 8. Now, y'all, one more question that I want you guys to see here. What is my y-intercept going to be? Oh, there is. Yeah, there's nothing here at the end. That right there is going to be the y-intercept, isn't it? So this right here is our y-intercept. So I'm going to graph my y-intercept here at 0, 0. Okay. Now, can I graph another point across it? Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. I'm going to reflect it across my axis of symmetry. Now that I have those 5 points, I'm going to go ahead and graph it. How do y'all feel about that so far? Pretty good? Okay. So, let's take a look at the next one here, okay? We're going to take a look at our next one. Do y'all feel pretty good about that? So guys, using your calculator is an excellent tool for this, okay? And if you don't have a calculator at home, you can also use Desmos.com. And I'll kind of show y'all how to do that on this next one, okay? So let's check this out. We have y plus 8 plus 3x squared plus 12x. Does this look like this is in standard form? No. Standard form, y'all, is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Y has to be by itself. My y ain't by itself. So what do I need to do to get it by itself? I need to subtract this 8 off of here, and I need to subtract the 3x squared, right? But whatever I do to one side, I got to do it to the other. So I'm going to subtract an 8 and a negative 3x squared off here. So, let's see here. That's going to leave us with y equal to, okay, what should we start with, y'all? Start with the x squared. So that's going to be negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 8. So, just looking at this right away, y'all, let's see what it would be like if we could go ahead and graph it, but let's go ahead and find our axis of symmetry really quick, okay? So guys, what is my axis of symmetry? The equation is y equals negative b over 2a. So negative 12 over 2 times negative 3. So what is that going to give me? Negative 12 over negative 6, which reduces down to what? What is that going to give me, y'all? Positive 2. Excellent. So that's x equals 2. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and graph my axis of symmetry right here so I have it. All right? So we know that my vertex is going to be around this x equals 2. Okay? Are there any other points that we could just graph right away from the equation? The y-intercept. My y-intercept is right here at negative 8. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to graph my negative 8. And I'm going to reflect it across the axis of symmetry to be right there. So now I have 2 points. But I want to figure out what all the rest of my points are. So y'all, what we're going to do here is we are going to graph it in the calculator. Okay? So I'm going to graph y equals negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 8. So we have y equals, I don't know why it's so shiny. Maybe I should turn that off. I don't know if that helps. Hold on. There. All right. Nope, not really. Okay. So it's y equals, I think this was better. All right, y equals, what was it? Negative 3x squared. I should clear the whole thing. Y equals negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 8. Okay, so when I graph it, this is what it looks like. Okay, cool. That's what it's going to look like. But really when I want to know, so it looks like my axis of symmetry is right there on 2. So I'm going to go to second graph. So guys, I want to find my vertex here, and we know it's in this positive. Oh, there it is. Look. Do y'all see? 2, 4. And look, everything's symmetrical off that 2, 4. So I'm going to use this table from my calculator and fill in my table here. So I'm going to do that. And so I'm going to say, okay, 2, 4 is my vertex that we just got from the calculator there. And then we also have 1, 1, 0, negative 8, 3, 1, and 4, negative 8. Are y'all good with that? So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to graph these other points. So we had 0, negative 8. We had 2, 4. That was my vertex. 1, 1, and 3, 1. Ooh, so this is a really skinny parabola, isn't it? It's a real skinny parabola. Okay? So y'all, if I graph this little guy right here, make sure it's not a V, make sure it's a curve. If I graph this little guy right here, what is this going to be a minimum or a maximum? It's a maximum. A maximum of what? 4. Excellent. Okay? My domain is still all real numbers. And my range is y. Is it less than 4 or greater than 4? It's less than or equal to 4. All right, guys? So what I'm going to do is, so we're going to identify all these lovely things in here. Now, guys, is this one ready to be graphed? No, we have to get it equal, all right? So I'm going to say y. Oh, whoops. So what do we need to do? We want y equals. So what do we need to get out of here? Yeah, we're going to add the 3x squared and we're going to add the 6x. We're going to add it to both sides. So we are left with y equal to 3x squared plus 6x minus 7. So guys, I want you guys to go ahead and graph this right here using your calculator and using your technology. Find your axis of symmetry and then use your calculator to graph the rest of it. Vertex. All right, guys? So I really like graphing in vertex form because it gives you your vertex. All right, guys? So check this out. I'm going to highlight this. So this is my vertex form of my equation. F of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So, y'all, we still have an a, all right? That's going to tell us if it's happy or sad. If it's positive, it opens up like a smile. If it's negative, it's sad and it frowns. Okay? But now, things look a little bit different. We have this little h and k. So, guys, the h and the k are the point of your vertex. All right, y'all? So the h and the k are the points on our vertex. So, guys, the h is the x value of your vertex, and the k is going to be the y value of your vertex. All right, guys? So the h and the k there. Okay? And then we just want to find two other points on each side of the vertex and just graph it. So, in this particular problem, guys, what is my h? Let's see here. What is my h value, y'all? Okay, so it's x minus h, so it's the opposite. So it's positive 3. This is going to be a positive 3, so it changes the sign when you take it out. Okay? And then my k value here is going, I'm actually going to do it in green, feeling green. Okay? My k value is what? Just 1. And that's on the outside of the parentheses, so it behaves. So we have h and we have k. So y'all, that's my vertex right there. It's literally, they give it to you, 3, 1. So now, can I graph my vertex? 3, 1. So if I know my vertex, what is my axis of symmetry, y'all? 3. X equals 3. Remember, it's an equation. So I'm going to go do that. Give myself a little line through. That's my axis of symmetry. Okay? Just really quick, y'all. Is this going to be a min or a max? Ooh, okay. Is there, the A value is positive, so that means it's smiley. So it's going to be a minimum of 1. All right, y'all?
Teacher,
Yeah?
what is the A value?
The A value is the number outside of your parentheses out here. Do you see this one? So this one, your A value would be 1 in this case, right? Over here, it would just be, on example 2, it would be 1/2. Do you see that? So because it's a 1, it's a positive, so it's smiley. And my range is going to be, what are we going to do for my range, y'all? It's y is greater than or equal to 1. So guys, then, now what I would do is I would use your calculator to find the other 2 points that you want, okay, that you want to graph. So I would go here, y'all. I'd go to my y equals, and I would say, cool, now I'm going to type in x minus 3, squared plus 1. And I know, let's see what it looks like. Oh, interesting. So we know that my vertex is at 3, 1. So I know that's generally what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to go to my table, and I'm going to plot the points around my vertex, right? I'm going to plot 2, 2. I just found that one. So I'm going to plot that point, and I'm going to plot 1, 5. Okay? So I'm going to do 2, 2, and 1, 5. And then I guess I could also do 0, 10. I could do that one too. 0, 10. You really only need 5. Okay? But now that I've got them on one side, can I reflect them on the other side? I sure can. So that reflects straight across. This guy will reflect straight across. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. And this top one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now I have a really good idea of what my parabola is going to look like. I'm going to find those 2 points. What do y'all think? Is it too bad? Yeah. I like vertex form. I like vertex form. All right, guys? So let's do this last problem, and then we're all done. All right, guys? So what is the, let's identify our vertex here, okay? What is my h, y'all? Yeah, and it's going to be a positive 4, because it was x minus 4. And then what is my k equal to? Negative 2. So now we know our vertex. Our vertex is going to be 4, negative 2. Isn't that wonderful? 4, negative 2. So we can graph that 4, negative 2. So if we know our vertex, what will my axis of symmetry be? X equals 4. The equation, x equals 4. I like to draw my line so I know how to do it on either side. Okay? Is this going to be a minimum or a maximum? Okay, is my a value positive or negative? Positive, so it's happy. So it's going to be a minimum. It makes a smiley face. So it's going to be a minimum of negative 2. So we're going to go from here and we're going to go up, all right? My domain, again, is all real numbers. And my range is going to be y is greater than negative 2 because everything's going to be above it. So now we just need to use our calculator to find our other points, right? So I'm going to zoom in a smidge. There we go. So let's see here. So I'm going to type in y equals 1/2 x minus 4 squared minus 2. I'm going to hit graph so I see what it looks like. Okay, it looks like I'm on the right track. Now I want to know the actual table values. Okay, we're over here at 4, negative 2. That looks good. Ooh, do the things mirror around my my vertex? They sure do. Negative 1, negative 1.5. 0, 0. Y'all, I'm going to pick whole numbers. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick, so we did 4, negative 2. Then I'm going to do 2, 0. And I'm going to do 0, 6. Are y'all good with that? So I'm going to do 2, 0 right here and 0, 6. Now I'm going to use these guys to reflect across. That would be, let's see here, 8, 6 and 6, 0. There we go. Now, can we graph it? I really like using the calculator for this, or if you want to use Desmos, you can use that too. All right, guys? Now we're going to get a chance to actually do it on our own.